All right, welcome to Awaken, Relentless Love and Partnerships. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on time. Good to see you, Roy. Excited to see you, Ivan, at some point. Um, oh, there you are. He lives. I have a couple people who said that they will show up, but we'll wait for them only in spirit. What is it in Lord of the Rings? A wizard is never late. They always arrive precisely when they mean to. So we're going to let that happen for them. And the meanwhile, get started. And I'm committed that this be fun and valuable. How it's going to go, we'll do a little meditation and then we'll do some live coaching, discussion, conversation around what will best support you in holding your boundaries, talking to women, having a great experience. Sound good? Beautiful. Let's make love easy. So, everybody, bring your right hand to your physical heart, close your eyes, and take a deep breath in. Let it go. And again, one more time. I call in infinite divine intelligence source to guide this conversation, open our hearts, clear our minds. I surrender to intuition, take me, the ego, me, the little self, out of the way so that what is meant to flow through for those who see, hear, and receive what transpires here today may get the most value, may have a great experience, and have a blast while doing it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Breathing in gratitude for this day, for having received life, the opportunity to gather, to grow, to learn. One more deep breath in and then let it all go. So be it, and so it is. All right, coming back into the room. Looks like we lost Ivan. You get a VIP day, Roy. That should be fun. Oh, and he's back. There it is. The power of the meditation. The power of the meditation was too strong, to quote Arnold Schwarzenegger, I guess. All right. So, what has you here? Like, if there was one big challenge, please put this in the chat that you would love to get solved or question you would like to get answered. What would that be? It's wholly interactive and dependent on you, bespoke, built to serve and support you in whatever you most need and desire. I've got some things that my intuition has placed on my heart to share and connect around, but yeah, this is built by you for you. So we could talk a little bit about boundaries. I know that that was part of it. Um, and I got it. You guys are new to each other, so you might be like, I don't know. Should I be vulnerable? That's fine. You don't have to share if it's not comfortable. Um, I will go
I'm
into.
cool with that.
Oh, you are okay. Great. You want to just tell me what you would like to get out of today, man, so I can hit a target.
Um,
Yeah.
Setting like healthy boundaries has been always an issue for me because I believe I have strong boundaries, and then life proves me otherwise. So
Uh
I
huh.
would love to just learn, like um, just basic things. Um, what a healthy boundary looks like. How do I know that I actually take myself accountable, or like I just find excuses why not to stick with those healthy boundaries.
Mm-hmm. Heard that. That's a lot. We can do that. That's good.
Yeah,
Thank you. So okay, why do I not stick with them? Just taking in the moment notes. Um, to hold them. Anything else?
Um, I mean, yeah, that's it pretty much because in any other parts of my life, I know how to take myself accountable.
Hmm.
So just, like when my mind wonders, like, am I doing it because being an asshole or is it self-care? So it's kind of like finding like the
Mm.
um, right balance between what is self-care and what is stepping over the line. Because I believe like most of the time, like this is what I struggle the most
Hmm.
is to find that fine line. Because I keep telling it to myself that like, oh no no no, like this is not healthy boundaries, just um, me just being selfish.
Mm.
When I say no to something, and then like for like hours in my head, I'm like, oh, it was it. Did I say no because I'm just trying to be mean, or no, I'm tired, so I said no because like I'm listening to my body. I need to relax. So that part. So I would just need like a little help on like how to, as I said, like just because I understand like what a healthy boundary is. I just don't know like how to apply it to myself.
Huh. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. Between the two of you, I've got a lot that I can talk about. Thank you. Cool. And then feel free to drop in the chat if you come up with anything else or any other facets or aspects.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, all right, how to be confident enough to not labor over every message, but still be sure not to say the wrong thing, Ivan says. Okay. Ivan, you want to come off of mute, say a little more about that, or is that because I think I know what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not sure like what more to say on that, but it's something that I've been working on lately and um just I'm always hyper careful when it comes to constructing every message I send to everybody. And I just want to be confident enough in myself to know what I'm doing, like knowing that I'm not gonna mess up. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I just I want to stop hyper censoring myself to every little thing and but still make sure I say the right thing.
Heard that. That's good. Um, Not that you're experiencing that, but that you're so clear on the problem. Thank you. Um, yeah, there's a lot. So, okay, we're gonna start in an indirect way, and then I promise we'll get to where you want to get to, which is more awareness, more skill, more capacity in this realm. So it'll be a little bit of an adventure. The first distinction I choose to breathe life into or bring into the space is integrity. Now, I'm sure you've heard the word integrity, and I'm sure you've practiced it to some degree, and you desire to be a person of integrity. In this context, integrity is actually the foundation for everything else. Integrity, it leads to self care, it leads to healthy boundaries, it is a register upon which we discern where we're coming from and what's going on in our body and where we're speaking and communicating from. And it looks two ways, right? So there's the masculine sort of form of integrity, which is I do what I say I'm going to do. I show up on time. And masculine like polarity, not like gender. I do what I say I'm going to do. I honor my word and I keep my promises and agreements in the process of being true to me. And what that looks like, what that could look like is I show up on time or I make a promise to somebody and I keep that promise to like show up and help them. Um, Now, integrity can be like we can use it as a sledgehammer sometimes. We can beat ourselves up. And that's when the collapse between integrity and morality happens. You're not better if you do more of what you say you're going to do, though some people may try to make you feel guilty for not. And you're not worse if you don't. You're just more effective if you do.
Hmm.
and you're more trustworthy by you, by other people around you, by even the universe, which can give you more of what you say because you're so in alignment with your word that what you say comes to be reliably and consistently. And then you just come to expect that. Like, oh, I said it, so it will happen, even if it's beyond my current capacity, even if it's like a manifestation. So why do I bring in integrity? Because we can't hit a target we don't aim at. And part of why we may have difficulties in setting boundaries is those, or holding them, or knowing where on the right side we fall, is if integrity is not sharp or clear enough. Like, what are we specifically committing to, independently of the presence or absence of another person, right? So I commit to ways of being, I commit to certain avenues of expression, like coming from love. What does love mean in this context? Love is thrown around by the new age people to mean a lot of things, right? Love in this context is the practice of unconditionally granting space, grace, and being to myself or to another person. Like, hey, I see you, I honor you exactly as you are and exactly as you are not. You do not have to be different around me. You can be exactly what and how and who you are in this moment or forever, right? And the tricky part is we invite what we tolerate. So you can love someone, and if they've got dysfunctional behavior, you can love them at a distance, right? You can say, I will grant you space and being, but your being or your experience or your expression is not in this now moment my responsibility. And I take the case that no one but me is actually my responsibility. Anything that I do for anyone around me, whether it be communicating to them in a way that generates the relationship, so going back to Ivan, or providing them support and attention, it is a gift and it is a practice of generosity. And at any time, for any reason or no reason at all, I can choose to not be generous. And that makes it sound bad, but hey, we train other people in how to treat themselves by how we treat ourselves. So if I treat myself like an Olympic athlete with world-class self-care, and I prioritize that, guess who I'm training to do the same with themselves? Others, everyone who sees and notices and registers what's going on. So part of that self-care is noticing where I'm coming from energetically when I'm communicating. There's this thing that sometimes happens for me where clients show up late or don't show up at all or don't communicate, and then I feel, because this is the connection point, right? It's all about communication here today. That's the theme. Communication with a woman, communication of your boundaries with other people. For me, what came up not more than 20 minutes before the call was like, all right, did I communicate with this client of mine in a way that both honors them and holds them accountable, and challenges them to stand up within what they've committed to without my own sort of bias or reaction infecting the space? And that's a very tricky sort of facilitator thing. So it's not identical with where you guys are coming from. But what I noticed was in receiving their communication, basically I lambasted them. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't train you in integrity well enough to clean up the mess you're making by not showing up to this thing you promised you would show up to. And she said, oh, I'm sad I'm not going to show up. And I was like, well, how do we restore integrity? So that's another conversation. Is this useful so far, by the way? You guys hearing some stuff that's
Mhm.
impactful? Cool. How we restore integrity, it's for us. It may happen in other people's listening, but it's for us to restore us to the full amount of power we carry. Um, Integrity is choosing to use our word as a tool for divine creation, creation of ourselves and creation with others or within the world. So if I say, for example, I'm committed to coming from love. So when I say I give my word, who I am is coming from love, it means that I get to stay conscious and aware of what's going on in there, in my body. And if I notice something that is not peace, love, or joy, if I notice some trigger, some reactivity, some speediness in my urgent need to respond, then I am not in integrity with that commitment. And what there is to do is to go sit on my breakthrough chair, pull the weeds from my subconscious mind, use tools like the release resistance or paradigm therapy, theta healing, whatever, to correct for or even just feel the pain, right? And once I weed my garden, then I get to return to the birthright of peace, love, and joy that was always already mine, that I sort of muddled with my own shit, with my own story, with my own reaction, with my own trauma. Because we manifest our reality with our subconscious beliefs. Manifest does not mean just to create, it means to make obvious what is already there inside of us. We're going where we live emotionally, and we use the environment to get us there. So if I feel guilty about how I show up with someone, I already felt guilty and I used them to have me feel that. There's something that I'm judging myself for already that I'm manifesting through them coming back at me. And you don't even have to believe in the woo to notice this. Who's ever noticed, people, they tend to get in a relationship with the same type of person over and over? Yeah. And that's because what's familiar, it's like a thermostat, right? It's set to a certain temperature or a certain range of frequencies or a certain realm of personality characteristics and quirks that remind us of parents or are just familiar, because the nervous system, the subconscious mind, it would rather we do what's familiar that we've done in the past because it knows
Hmm.
it can survive that than have what our conscious mind says that we want most of the time. We'd rather be right on the subconscious level than happy most of the time. Right about what the world is like, right about how things go, right about, well, this always happens. And until we make what is unconscious conscious, Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, said, the outer world will rule our lives. We'll be like, they triggered me, or they were an asshole, or they stepped over my boundaries. Until we make what is unconscious conscious, the outer world will rule our lives, and we'll call it fate. Capital F. Well, fuck fate. I believe you have power to create beyond what might be the biological or nervous system fate that repeats the banal, silly repetition of trauma patterns. So who's ready to stop doing what doesn't work? All right, cool. Looks like Ivan might have gotten frozen. Um,
Can you hear me?
yes. Oh, he's still there. That's great.
Yeah, it's my Wi-Fi went out, and so I'm on cellular, and it's spotty. So sorry.
Nothing wrong. I like to play back when I see faces get stuck on the screen and other things. I'm here having fun with some people. Um, so integrity is the foundation from which self-care and boundaries arise. So if I have a set of principles or expectations of myself or commitments that I'm walking in the direction of, like yoga poses, right? We go to
Hmm.
yoga, we might stretch in a certain way. We might not be able to take the whole pose, but we're at least reaching for it, right? And so we're practicing integrity. And so integrity and love, actually, the way that it was taught to me, love is a facet of integrity. If I'm honoring my word, doing what I say I'm going to do, but I'm not in love while I do it, or coming from love when I give my word to it or execute on it, then I'm out of integrity with myself.
Hmm.
And have y'all noticed, if you're coming from fear or something other than love, you tend to make worse decisions. Yeah. So that's because we're in a reaction. And fear isn't intrinsically bad. It's really useful when there are tigers that may be hungry stalking us in the African savannah or something, or somebody with a knife in a alleyway, right? It's like, all right, let me heighten my attention and maybe be on my guard. But most of the time, in most of our experience of life, the hijack, the trigger, the dysregulation, it fires with an inappropriate stimuli. Like someone said a thing, and then my body registers it as like, oh, I'm unsafe, or they're bad and wrong, or I'm bad and wrong because I didn't show up the way that they were expecting when maybe they didn't have the right to expect that. So I grew up socially awkward, anxious, diagnosed with autism, Asperger's syndrome specifically. And I spent thousands of dollars, thousands of hours in personal development work to learn how to date, how to relate, how to mate. I did learn how to rhyme and alliterate from reading a lot, so that was not something I had to spend a lot of money on. But it wasn't inevitable that I was going to have sex or a relationship or understand how to manage and handle and dance in relationship. But I figured it out, and I've had a lot of great relationships. I've had a lot of great adventures sexually, emotionally, and also there was like a cul-de-sac. So I went from sexually suppressed by Catholicism to overly expressed, I would say, to where like I was chasing validation and attention and using other people to feel better at a level that I didn't perceive, to now committed to exquisite alignment, to like, all right, if I'm going to pursue relationship or connection, it has to feel aligned and nourishing to who I am from the deepest foundation of me. All of that to say, I am biased in the direction of formalism and clarity and over communication, which helps because unexpressed needs or desires are premeditated resentments. That was Neil Strauss from his book, The Truth, an uncomfortable book on relationships. And the whole idea behind that is if I don't sketch or structure a container of agreements that I have with myself, and then eventually with opt in, buy in, consent, and agreement with others, then we're just going to default to however we happen to be. And I may come off as an asshole despite my best intentions because of how someone interprets me without a previously established context of intentions, agreements. So the container, the first thing I give my word to is I agree to a container like a play space where we're intending certain things like coming from love, not judging each other, being present, not pushing each other around um, through manipulation or domination or ego driven fear, whatever. And I give my word to those things, and then we're practicing. Doesn't mean they won't screw up, doesn't mean we won't screw up. It just means we're at least going a direction together. Does that sound better than how most people do relationship?
Hmm.
Yeah. So it starts with you. Leaders go first. So I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna deepen into Ivan's question, and then I'm gonna come back to yours, Roy. So, how to be confident enough to not labor over every message, but still be sure not to say the wrong thing. All right. So there's a judgment in there, and in 13.6 billion years of cosmic history, I, I don't personally think I have the right to judge something as good, bad, right, or wrong. It can work out in ways that I might not expect or anticipate that are better than I can imagine, right? If I say something and it lands in a certain way, yes, I discern, so there's judgment and there's discernment. Judgment is making something or someone bad and wrong and resisting it and maybe even having an like angry or shaming or guilting sort of experience that I get to have when I'm feeling judged or that I'm trying to make somebody else have when I judge them. Who's ever judged themselves or someone else? Yeah. So have you noticed it doesn't really help?
Hmm.
Yeah. So there is no wrong thing is a perspective that you can take. You can start and I get what you're aiming at in that question, Ivan, and I see your hand. I'll come to you just a second. Like if I'm afraid of getting it wrong, what am I focused on? I'm focused on getting it wrong. I'm actually resisting getting it wrong. I'm judging the past times when I got it wrong. And we get what we think about most of the time. We become what we focus on most of the time. So if I'm able to forgive myself, right? Because there may still be judgments in place for I did this thing and it didn't work out. In fact, 10 minutes before this call started, I felt sad. I was doing heart breathing meditation, heart math, and I was like cultivating an awareness of my heart and love and I was like, oh shit, was I overpendulated in the tone or the energy of how I held my client accountable for honoring their word when they did not clean up their word as designed? So a restoration of integrity with yourself or with someone else looks like this. Hey, I said I would do this thing. I didn't do it. I'm not making any excuses. I'm not running away from it. I'm not trying to make you like, hey, look over here. I was sick or some shit. No, I just didn't do the thing. Number one. Number two, what's the impact on you? How does that feel? And then shut the fuck up. I want to give them and grant them, it really is love. It's granting them the space and being to be with my pivot, my shift, my renegotiation, my breaking of my word. And also like honoring them. It's relational. It's like you matter enough for me to listen to what happened over there with you when I didn't do what I said I would do. And then from there, they may have all kinds of stuff. They might have judgments, they might have reactions, they might have stories. You brave the storm, basically. You sit through the crazy clouds and the rain and the thunder and the lightning, and just understand it all means something about them, not you. Now, it's tricky because if we have parents who made it mean something about us when we didn't do what they wanted us to do, then we may still have a part of us that reacts, right? Am I right? Anybody? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that reaction may cause us to want to contort or people please or like try to reacquire the connection. And here's the thing. If we don't have a formal process for restoration of integrity, then it looks like two egos trying to get something out of each other. Like, okay, you didn't do the thing, so I need to get you to apologize. And if it's in an authentic apology, it's not really an apology anyway. It is a form of people pleasing. It's a form of dancing, lying, and manipulation. People pleasing is lying and manipulation. It's just we do it because we're trained by preachers, teachers, family, friends, media, and government to do it to get along. And my stand is that people be sovereign. My stand is that people be authentic, that people claim the right to create spaces where they can express vulnerably, which, going back to step two of integrity restoration, that's what they're doing. They're being vulnerable. And then I can say, all right, I hear you. I hear that you feel sad, you feel upset. I hear that this doesn't work for you. And then you make a new promise because if your original promise to that person mattered to them, and if it mattered to you, and if they matter to you, then that space of your promise, it still gets to cover something, or you need something to cover the space of that promise. And then you can say, well, okay, I didn't show up on time, and I realized that pissed you off, and I'm committed to not pissing you off. I'm committed to being on time for me because it makes life easier for me. So I recommit to being on time, and here's what I'm going to do to ensure, like, or support myself into being on time. And then they may be satisfied with that, they may not. The point of this is not to guilt or shame yourself. The point of this is to restore your power with your word because it went out of alignment. Is this making sense so far? So that is a foundation. And then the rest of the agreements of how we operate with each other and our boundaries too are some of those agreements. Like you won't shit on my carpet. You won't come into my house without permission. You won't hit me in the face. Most people don't need that agreement because it's like common sense. But some people it's useful. And and so self-care is one of them. I believe that if I'm afraid of doing the wrong thing, my self-care and thus my integrity is out because my actions and behavior are driven by fear rather than inspiration. I can do the same actions from exasperation or from inspiration. And guess what? Again, coming back to Ivan, and then we'll get to your hand up. Women can feel if you're walking around them on eggshells and tiptoeing in terror, trying to get it right, trying to make them think something about you or to feel some way about you. And they much prefer when you are free to be, because then that unleashes them to be free to be. Ivan, how's this landing? What are you hearing? And would you want to ask?
Um, it's landing well. Only reason why I had my hand up is because you asked the question and my videos wasn't working.
Oh man, I love that. Thanks for your full participation. I didn't understand. I was like, oh, he's got a question or something. Okay, cool.
Oh, no, you said put your hand up if something and I couldn't, so that's what I did.
So
Um,
go ahead. Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Well, there's a very particular process I can use to help you bring up that fear and let it go. right? And actually, tell me if both of you have a fear of getting it wrong and either articulating your boundaries or, yeah, we got the tiger by the tail, y'all. All right. Realizing that this is an intimate space, I'm excuse me, recording this for my own training. I'm not going to share this. It's more important for me that you get what you need than that I have some sort of asset or content. Um, so may I have permission to facilitate you all? Give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is a very simple process. It's very powerful. Um, I'm going to use some of what you already know. So this masterful, badass massage giving kahuna guy in the room. And so he probably knows better about Ho'oponopono than I do. And we're still going to use some of it just in case, along with what's called the release resistance process, which again, it's simple, but it's magical. And it will involve you simply through rhythm, repetition, and deep feeling and simplicity, reprogramming or pivoting what's going on in the subconscious mind. And then from there, once we've dealt with the internal, the external will land even better, right? So we can come back to the structural dynamics of how to communicate boundaries and how to express, because then it's not I'm in defense and fear trying to push back against someone trying to aggress at me. It's hey, I have this thing. Are you willing to honor it or not? And then the internal dynamic of the obsessive, like, did I do that right? Was I an asshole with that or not? See, everything is perfect, by the way. It's so funny. Um, I felt sad because I felt afraid that I had done something wrong just before this call. And then there's this rumination internally that Roy talks about of like, was I an asshole? Did I do that wrong? Did I do or did I honor myself? And then with Ivan, he's talking about, I'm afraid of doing it wrong in communication. So let's pull that weed. Sound good?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Beautiful. So if you'll close your eyes and take a deep breath in and let it all go. All right. I heard exactly where we're going. So just repeat after me. I have the power of a made up mind.
Have the power of a made up mind. Oh, do I say it silently or?
Say it aloud.
Oh,
So we'll start again. I have the power of a made up mind.
I have the power of a made up mind.
The power to made up mind.
Nothing in this universe can stop the power of a made up mind.
Nothing in this universe can stop the power of a made up mind.
I clear my resistance of getting it wrong.
Clear my resistance of getting it wrong.
I clear my resistance of being wrong.
This getting wrong.
I clear my resistance of being disapproved of.
Clear my resistance of being disapproved of.
I clear my resistance of being rejected.
Clear my resistance of being rejected.
I clear my fear that they'll reject me for doing the wrong thing.
Clear my fear they'll reject me for doing the wrong thing.
I clear my fear of losing their approval.
Clear my fear of losing their approval.
I clear my fear of being rejected.
Clear my fear of being rejected.
I clear my fear of being wrong.
Clear my fear of being wrong.
I clear my hate of when they rejected me.
Clear my hate of when they rejected me.
I clear my hate of doing it wrong.
Clear my hate of doing it wrong.
I clear my hate of being wrong.
Clear my hate of being wrong.
I clear my hate of losing their approval.
Clear my hate of losing their approval.
I clear my terror that they'll reject me.
Clear my terror they'll reject me.
I clear my terror of doing it wrong.
Clear my terror of doing it wrong.
I clear my terror of being rejected.
Clear my terror of being rejected.
I clear my terror of doing the wrong thing.
Clear my terror of doing the wrong thing.
I clear my need and desire for approval.
Clear my need and desire for approval.
I clear my need and desire to be accepted.
Clear my need and desire to be accepted.
I clear my need and desire to do it perfectly.
Clear my need and desire to do it perfectly.
I clear my need and desire to never be rejected.
Clear my need and desire to never be rejected.
I accept that I am approved of and I always have been.
I accept I am approved of and always have been.
I accept that I am accepted and I always have been.
Except I always, what?
I accept that I am accepted and I always have been.
Except I'm always accepted and always have been.
I accept that I am loved no matter what and I always have been.
I accept I'm always loved and always have been.
I accept that I can never be rejected by anyone who isn't meant for me.
Except I can never be rejected by anyone who isn't meant for me.
I accept that if I'm rejected, I'm not meant for them.
Except if I'm rejected, I'm not meant for them.
I accept if I'm rejected, they're not meant for me.
Except if they're rejected, they're not meant for me.
I accept that everything is actually perfect and always has been.
Except everything is perfect and always has been.
I accept that I am perfect and I always have been.
Except I am perfect and always have been.
I accept and honor me.
Accept and honor me.
And so be it, and so it is.
So be it, and so it is.
So just picture yourself now. Picture the version of you that was maybe rejected, attacked, hurt, harmed, called an asshole. Notice the quality of your own thoughts, throwing those barbs and attacks and arrows at that version of you. Just say to yourself, picturing yourself there, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Please forgive me
Please forgive me.
for judging you,
Forgive me.
for how you showed up,
How you should have.
for how they treated you.
For how they treated you.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
Thank you. And I love you.
Anyway,
And it's okay.
it's okay.
And I'm willing to let all of that go now.
I'm willing to let all that go now.
I wish them all the blessings of life.
Wish them all the blessings of life.
And I'm willing to let all of this go now.
Let all this go down.
I restore me to my integrity
Restore me to my integrity.
as love
It's love,
and as beloved.
yes, beloved,
I am beloved.
and beloved,
I am beloved of God.
beloved of God.
I love me.
I love me.
I will to receive my love.
I will to receive my love.
I am my full love returning.
I am my full love returning.
And breathe. And so be it, and so I am.
So be it. So I am.
And so we are.
So we are.
Slowly, gently, at your own pace and time, returning to your body, returning to the room, wiggling fingers and toes, opening your eyes. No rush. Who's feeling better? I sure am. All facilitation is self facilitation. I do this in part because it allows me to shine a flashlight into myself at the same time as I am working with other people and pull the same weeds from me that I'm pulling from we. So thank you. What a grace. What a gift. And yes, hydration is important. Good thought. Ivan, how'd it go for you, man? You're the one that inspired this in the shape that it was.
Went well.
Hmm. Are you feeling? How are you feeling afterwards? What do you notice?
The same.
Okay. So if it went well, did you feel a release or relief of any kind or
Um, it no, but it didn't go badly.
okay. Was it helpful for you?
Maybe a little.
Okay. Um, so do you still feel terror in your body when you tune into sending messages to someone?
Um, Maybe less so.
Okay, that was the intention. Sometimes it
Okay.
takes time for our traumas and or pain to release. We could do a deeper process with you around all of this, which uh, it may be that there is a core memory with a kernel and a specific meaning that structured your psyche based on that experience of maybe doing or saying the wrong thing and getting rejected for it. Do you discern? I mean, would you like some more help around this?
Um, no, I think I'm getting better about it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and we can, I mean, there's like the cognitive level, right? Where you just be aware that there is no wrong way to eat a Reese's, so to speak. Old school
Yeah.
commercials, right? The chocolate. Um, and then you could just, one of my favorite things is from old school landmark training when somebody would have an experience of like, oh my God, am I doing it wrong or whatever, they could just turn to that voice in their head and say, oh, thank you for sharing. I see that you care, and you're false. Thank you for sharing. You're not me, and I disagree. As a practice, are you willing to step into that maybe?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you see how that could help in the moment when the fear comes up?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you can feel the fear and do it anyway. You can acknowledge the fear and not be its slave. You can acknowledge it as false evidence appearing real. You can just notice, okay, well this is something that I'm growing out of. There are all manner of ways now that we've addressed, and it also may take time for the grace of the sort of process we just did to actually land. Um, in your subconscious. So feel free to come back to me, later today, tomorrow with a message like, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling different," or it may not. We may have just because it works different for everybody. Like every tool, that's one of the things about coaching, training, transformation. You can't know what will work, but it's always worth the experiment, and
Mhm.
often the experiment yields fruit. So, you know, I'm here running experiments and I'm always growing. So, your authentic feedback, like, hey, no, I don't feel any different. That's better for me to grow into a better tool and instrument of service to we than just people pleasing. Like, oh, we did this whole thing and it did, and it worked great, even though it didn't. Or, you know, and, and your sensitivity and your awareness of how it worked or to the degree to which it worked might because of how loud and obnoxious your mind and your body and your trauma, like your pain body, have been, it might be subtle, it might be difficult to notice as well. So I'm just throwing all the options out there. But yeah, thank you for receiving and thank you for inspiring that, Ivan.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have enough to chew on when it comes to solving that problem and being in conversation with a woman, or would you like just a little bit more? Because I have just a little bit more I could give you just purely tactically.
No, that's good.
Okay, cool, beautiful. Roy, let's acknowledge Ivan. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Um, Roy, how was the process for you? What'd you notice? What shifted for you?
I definitely noticed that some of the statements, like saying it to myself, like there was a resistance from my psychic
Yeah.
when it comes to like love, and it just and I'm being loved, and I always have been. Like some of the statements, or uh, like I felt that towards like the end, especially like when we did like I forgive myself and I love myself, and I became lighter. So like it was just easier like to if I were like to say the same things now, like probably it would
Hmm.
face like less resistance. So
Yep. Yeah, what I've found, man, is sometimes judgment can poison the well of facilitation. And what I mean by that is like if I'm asking somebody to step into a new space in their psyche or to open their heart or to release pain, if they're still judging themselves, it can be heavy and difficult.
mhm.
It can provide the judgment can be the very resistance itself. And so that tracks with my model that I work from is like, oh yeah, let's we release the judgment and now you get to feel lighter because
Yeah.
stuff you're trying to get out. And yeah, I'm glad that there was resistance to the statements because that shows that they matter.
Yeah.
Like they are another direction than where you were going before.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, I mean I as you mentioned like Ho'oponopono, like it's something that I'm aware of. It's just today was a good reminder that I need to be a little more consistent with it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh, I get to love me better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about boundaries then, I guess.
Okay.
So coming back to setting healthy boundaries, why do I not stick with them? Am I doing it because I'm an asshole? And what is self-care? What is stepping over the line? How to apply a healthy boundary to myself? Because I know what a healthy boundary is. Um, okay, so give me an example. What I say is on the court, like a time recently. You don't have to name their name, but a time when you
Yeah.
were trying to set a boundary and it was like either ambiguous or difficult for you, or you went into rumination around it. Like, what happened?
I mean, it's like with every situation. So, I always give grace to people. Like when my boundaries are being crossed, when you mentioned, like don't not being late. When I ask you, like, you know, if it's like an ongoing issue, and I ask you like not to be late, or if you are, like life happens, just send me a text, and if it doesn't happen, and I would say it again, and then I'm being told, and why you so hard on me? Why do you have to single me out? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, like that wasn't my intention. So instead of like staying firm, I'm like, even to myself, I find an excuse like for somebody else's bad behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And even though like I know that it's not like somebody else is in the wrong, but like when I know that like this is like a very simple boundary that I should stick with, but in order like to not to make feel somebody less than, or I guess it's like the fear of like being accepted. So like I have to time and time again like do more, prove myself to people that I'm enough. So I guess like this is the fear of not being enough kicks in, and in order like to keep like even an unhealthy relationship around me, like I would just be okay and accept that is below like my boundary. So like it's a little more complex just than just the boundary because like the fear of like not being enough.
Mm-hmm.
But like I would love to learn um because let's say like when something happens and then when I'm by myself and then processing like I'm telling it to myself that like no, you're sticking to your healthy boundaries, that's okay, you're enough. But as I said, like I'm stepping into like the old self into like a new and unknown territory, like when I'm being loved and when I'm being accepted. So like when I'm in between like the old self and the new self, and I found myself like in between, it just juggling between is it my boundary or am I asking too much?
Mm. Yeah, I get that. So then the practice is to feed the vision and image of who you're becoming, like your new self,
Yeah.
over and over. Have you heard the story of the two wolves? So there's
Uh, just remind me.
let me look it up because I want to do it right. It's the two wolves story. It's a Cherokee story, supposedly. An elder is teaching a young grandson about life. Let me see. Let me read it. Where is it? An old Cherokee Indian chief. He he's teaching his grandson about life. He said, "A fight is going on inside of me." He told the young boy, "A fight between two wolves." And I'm just going to finish it, even if you remember some of it by now.
Okay.
Yeah. He says, "The dark one is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, ego." And then the light wolf, the other wolf, is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth. There is a fight between them that is going on inside you and inside of every other person on the face of this earth. Grandson ponders this for a moment and then asks, "Grandfather, which wolf will win?" The old Cherokee smiles and simply says, "The one that you feed." And that also applies to like the old versus the new self. So anytime you fall into feeding the old version of you, it strengthens the neural pathways and the experience of that. You become
Hmm.
what you think about most of the time. You become what you focus on most of the time. So who you are is a function of your focus. And I still have moments where I feel or experience myself as like that sad, broken, weak, powerless kid.
Hmm.
You know, dad beats mom, mom's unavailable, dad is scary, and the kid's just like, what do I do? Nobody sees me. And so I sort of like the what I told Ivan earlier. Uh, I see you, I hear you, thank you for sharing, and I'm going a different direction. So that's a way of like bracketing out, like honoring that voice, that part, that old self without getting sucked in. Does that help?
Hmm.
Cool. Um, and then the fear of not being accepted and making someone else feel less than, and the felt need to prove to others that I'm enough, fear of not being enough. Like it's it's a measure of focusing on that version of you that is enough. Because our self is really a creation. It's an invention. We can't point to it like I can point to this table or my knee or whatever. It's an image that we feed. And have you heard of Maxwell Maltz and psychocybernetics?
Mhm.
So this is plastic surgeon who became a personal development guru or teacher or whatever. And what he noticed was he would do plastic surgery on people to have their external appearance shift, but they would still think the same thing about themselves. They'd still hate themselves. They'd still think they look stupid or whatever. And he eventually realized, oh, it's the self image that needs to shift.
Yeah.
And so he gave them processes and practices. And then also Matt Fury and Theater of the Mind gives practices and processes for shifting that. So that might be a book you might enjoy. Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. That might help to give you ideas of
Hmm.
how to pursue the new self-image. And then like in the moment, it's a matter of like you don't need to fix the old self so much as to shift focus onto the new self because I am who I choose to be. So at any moment when I'm triggered or feeling down or whatever, I, I just notice like, okay, so that's the wounded ego. The wounded ego wants me to try to fix the wounded ego, wants me to act as if I'm a problem to be solved. When I'm not a problem to be solved, I'm a experience to be lived and a being to be loved. Go ahead. What's landing? I'm saying a lot.
No, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's landing. So as you mentioned earlier, so I believe that sometimes, like I feel that I keep because relationship, friendships, sometimes, like when I take a hard look at, like my social circle, um, I tend to surround myself with people who treats me, like my parents used to,
Hmm.
like taking me for granted. Yes, Roy is always there, this and that, and instead of actively accepting that there are people who appreciate me for me,
Hmm.
almost like believing that, oh, those people don't want to do anything with me, so I have to just accept that like what is, instead of actively telling it to myself that like, no, you deserve better. I have days like when that happens and I out and about and actively search and seek those connections. And then some days when I fall back into like the old self and, oh, no, 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 like people who intellectually are on your level would not want to do anything with you. So like just stay and stick to what is.
Ah, yeah. So I've got a solution for you if you want it.
Yes.
Zero tolerance policy for boundary consistently disrespected.
Yeah.
Like, like it's and it's consistently disrespected. Everybody gets one.
Yeah.
Everybody gets like one moment, and then
I'm
maybe a
guilty of doing that like 100 times and still hoping that somebody finally gets it that like this is my boundaries.
yeah, no, yeah, no, that's it. That's the problem structurally. Is like
Yeah.
you're over pendulating in the direction of generosity, and generosity is eventually self-effacing. Ask ask me how I know. Um, like I have overgiven in the past, and then I resent the other person, and then the boundary comes up explosive when they finally do,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work.
Yes.
So it works better earlier on, and we're about to get into this with agreements, but we invite what we tolerate, and the toleration starts in the moment of probably see, the first infraction, I give people an opportunity like, hey, that doesn't work for me. Please do
Hmm.
that again. Are we clear what I'm asking for? And then they say yes or no. And then if they do it again, now I have an agreement in the background from them that I'm holding them accountable against
Yeah.
that has been communicated. And then if they do it a second time, I'm sorry that you clearly broke an agreement that we made that I asked for that you said you were going to do, and I love you, but I'm going to have to let you go.
Hmm.
And that may feel like you being an asshole, like what I didn't do very much. I just
Yeah.
up on time again, or I just took 5 hours and didn't call you back when you needed me to again, like. no, it's okay to be a little bit of an asshole. And the thing about that is they're going to call you an asshole because they expect you to people please and to give them
Yes.
what they demand. So, and I know it's difficult. I wish I had a live example. I wish I had somebody in the room who would like mess with your boundaries and you could just be like, let's practice.
Yeah.
um, and I don't want to use Ivan in that way. We might use me in that way. But the other solution is to, instead of allowing yourself to focus on what you don't have, imagine what you choose to have and spend as much time as possible imagining how it feels to be in connection with someone who does love you, does honor you,
Hmm.
does respect your boundaries, and is at your intellectual and sort of energetic level.
Hmm.
Because we get what we focus on most of the time. So the
Yeah.
percentage of time you've been spending like reacting to not having what you desire and tolerating what you don't could be just spent on imagining what you choose to have. And then it's a function of manifestation. Because what we focus on most of the time with high belief, high desire, no resistance, and no attachment to time in receiving, we will
Hmm.
receive. It's inevitable. And
Yeah.
then you're in Austin, so just keep coming to the events that I invite you to. You'll sneeze and you'll hit a couple people who are awesome in the same
Yeah.
way that I believe that I've tried to be with you. Have you experienced healthy boundaries and honoring
Hmm.
with me? So all
Yeah.
right, we got one on the team at
Yeah.
least.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. You talking about me? Or you talking about like you talking about me with healthy boundaries too, Ivan?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm honored. Yeah. And borrow my faith in being until you build your own. And what that means is like I'm not perfect. As you see, he's still just a man, to quote The Matrix Reloaded at one point when he's talking about Neo. Like
Yeah.
I may seem like a wizard sometimes, or like I got real jujitsu when it comes to boundaries and relational intelligence, and I do compared to most of the population. I'm still working on my own shit. So don't pedestalize me, but do notice what you got and maybe use that, memorize the feeling of the experience of what it feels like to have somebody like celebrate your art on social media and edify your skill as a massage therapist and just like, all right, well, how can I give back? And you witness the other person giving back. And I also I have a commitment as a brand. I mean, it's not right as a my personal brand is my reputation, right, with other
Yeah.
people. And part of my commitment is what's two things. It's two things. So you know where I'm coming from. One is you always reap what you sow. You don't always reap when, where, with whom you sow it. So if you always practice giving unconditionally, you will receive eventually. Now, as a marketer and as a salesperson, eventually I got to put filters and say, all right, well, I'm focusing on those people who can actually reciprocate more so than
Yeah.
can't eventually down the line. But I also know that if God puts somebody in front of me, then I'm meant to give to them. I'm meant to be generous, so long as it doesn't burn me out, so long as it doesn't fuck me up, so long as it doesn't like get, I'm just like pouring into somebody and you know, there's no willingness to reciprocate. There can be a willingness to reciprocate, and that could be enough for me. Because as one of my mentors says, he's sowing seeds in all these different directions, and then there's a flower that blooms back here that is like me receiving. So it's God I'm receiving from. It's not the individual,
Hmm.
and I've learned to trust that. I there's a fun story just to deepen that distinction from about it was a while ago, when I didn't know how I was going to pay rent as an entrepreneur. I had my back up against the wall and I was in a coaching container with a bunch of clients and I made an offer and they were all broke and none of them took the offer. And I was like, well, shit, what am I going to do? I don't know how this is going to work out. And because I was open to abundance and I was unconditionally giving and also listening to my intuition, like the voice of God in my heart and my soul telling me what to do, God told me, well, just gift them $2,500 worth of coaching. And I was like, well, that doesn't solve my problem, but okay, I'll do it. And I shit you not, the very next day, my mom calls to say, hey, $2,500 is waiting for you in a bank account earmarked from back owed child support from your dad.
Hmm.
Where can I send it? It's like, all right, I'm taken care of. So that's one side of my brand, my being, my character that I'm committed to being on the planet. The other side is people they don't care what you know until they know that you care. And in the modern world, in a trust recession, so to speak, people don't know that you care unless they experience it, and a lot in my experience. So, some people who I serve, they may become clients, most do not. That's fine. I love serving. I enjoy the process of giving. And that's the other thing is like if you're giving and it fills you up, like you feel like, oh, I get to give. I get to show up and pour into men that I care about this morning, for example. Like how can I be of service?
Hmm.
Being used in a way that is uh, 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 what I feel I'm designed for as a dating relationship coach. Then like I leave that interaction at a higher level of energy than I entered it. Even though it might seem like, I'm giving a lot, right? I'm not on any supplements right now. I had a little bit less sleep than I would have expected, but I come alive in the giving because I'm aligned to my dharma, my purpose. Um, so long as you're doing that and you hold some healthy boundaries whenever you need to around it, uh, I'm sure you will attract and receive and find those people who see you as the gift that you are, as I do. Does that land for you? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you willing to have faith in that and practice being from that until your external world shows you and reflects to you how valued you are?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you. I mean, you don't have to go all military on me, but yeah, yeah, good, good, great. Because I am coach here, so I'm kind of taking the role of a little bit of
Yes,
adult.
sir. I am, sir.
What was okay? Yeah, great. But by the way, some of what you told me earlier this week about like religious trauma, I was just like, wow, that's just crazy. That kind of stuff happened, and and it really put me off on Christ for a second. I was like, shit, man. I don't know. I mean, like people are using Christ to mistreat others in this way. Like you have to
Yeah.
show up in this particular way. It's yes sir, no sir. Like, or I'll beat you. I'm like, no. And I hope you don't mind. I'm sharing a little bit
No, 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 not at all. No, no, no.
because that's where we, based on what you shared earlier this week, I think
Hmm.
you have a sensitive, loving, tender, open heart, like your mother does, under all the people pleasing.
Yep.
Yeah. And so your boundaries came from her, and she didn't
Hmm.
have that good of a boundary.
No.
So, so like you are finding a way to reparent yourself by being better at holding boundaries for yourself than she was. So you're
Hmm.
reclaiming boundaries for the sake of your lineage. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, what I'm going to end on is a boundary reset, which is like distinguishing really good agreements. You're free to
Hmm.
practice these or not, or pick one or
Okay.
two and just be like, hey, that's what I'm going to practice communicating with people. Does that sound good for both of you?
Yes.
Ivan?
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. So I have a document. I'm going to put it in the chat. Um, please don't share this without my permission. It is what I call the co-empowerment agreements. Because
Okay.
most people are codependent. And I'm also going to share it on the screen. Let's see. And we might end a little early because I don't want to overwhelm you. I do want you to get exceptional value, but not to feel overwhelmed. This is just a cool mid-journey picture I made. It was originally for a men's group, and I was like, all right, depict these agreements in somebody, and they're very
It
kingly.
could be like an Emperor tarot card.
Oh yeah, it could be. It could be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very clean, very clear agreements, like and strong in their
Yeah.
expression. So here's the document, so you don't have to worry about obsessing over the details. But all right. So the first agreement is I agree to create a container of agreements, practice postures, and orientations that we honor. So this could be an agreement you make with you. Like I'm making a space where I grant myself grace, where I'm practicing. Oh, look, I know who that anonymous platypus is. That's Roy just clicked into the document. That's great. Okay. So I honor these agreements so that I can honor me better, so that I can honor we better. We can't hit a target we don't aim at. It's better to aim at something than to drift and unexpressed desires, preferences, and expectations or premeditated resentments. I've implied this throughout this conversation. Like your new container, Roy, is the version of you that you choose to be and the experience of we that you choose to have, where people respect you, they honor you. And so that's your context. All the other agreements, they are ways of honoring that intention, that desire. Does this make sense, y'all? This first one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next one, and arguably integrity could come first. Maybe I should put it first, but I agree to honor my word. So, we went into that a lot. Keep my promises and agreements. And that's even like, hey, I committed to coming from love and I didn't that one time. So there may be people who you were coming from fear with. Like, oh, oops. Everybody put right oops in the chat. Don't worry, I'm going to do it too. If I didn't honor my healthy boundary, it's an oops. And oops. So, oh, all right, great. This is just for participation. I know you know what oops is, and I know you know how to spell it and all that shit. But so okay, and oops. When we say oops, it's like it takes all the sting and all the heaviness and all the gravity out of it. It's like, oh, you know what? Actually, I just made a mistake. Okay, oops. Um, so on the way to a recommit with someone who I was coming from fear with, I'm about to do that actually. I'm about to message my client because she sent all these messages back and just say, okay, maybe I was coming from fear in how I articulated holding you accountable. Oops, sorry. Wasn't my intention to make you feel guilty or ashamed or anything like that. So I recommit. So that is the part where I clean up when I need to. And I practice impeccably, fastidiously with integrated intuition. So I'm always listening for what promise did I make and where did I break? And if I broke, how do I clean up? Real simple. And then everything else works better, all these other agreements. And by the way, this is the structure of a healthy relationship with whether with yourself or with someone else. That's what these 12 agreements are. So does number two
Mhm.
make sense? Thumbs up, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Um, are you interested in practicing at least these first two? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Uh, and I might ask you to practice 3 and 4, but the rest of them it gets kind of complicated. There's a lot going on here. They'll make sense, and you can pick one and start dancing with it day by day potentially. So love number 3. I agree to practice non-judgment. We saw in our facilitation how painful judgment is for ourselves, right? And what the benefit is to release it on ourselves, and then just imagine being somebody else receiving judgment. Okay, so compassion, love, as the choice to unconditionally grant space. Oops, I'm upgrading this document as we speak to myself or another. So I'm granting you space and being. All right, you didn't. And then when they don't show up on time, right, or they break their agreement, everybody deserves a little bit of grace, at least once. And here's a note on how to hold your boundaries, Roy, like with people. Like if they apologize and give an explanation with a recommit, then you can trust them going forward.
Hmm.
If they don't give you a recommit and they just give a big old dramatic tear-filled apology,
Yeah, that's usually like 99.9% of the time.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh, yes, I understand. And yes, of course. And I
yeah,
understand.
yeah, yeah. So they are often, humans often do this. They give a big old dramatic tear-filled apology so that they can know that they can train you to and manipulate you to respond in the same way in the future. Like
Hmm.
an apology without a recommit is a manipulation. It's like, I want to feel better about what I did. I want you to feel better too. So I'm going to do a song and dance. But if it isn't followed up with a commitment, then you can absolutely trust that they're going to do it again.
Yeah.
So, and we in the modern world, we're trained to accept apologies as if they're equivalent to recommits, not even knowing what a recommit is. I mean, if there's no agreement and there's no recommit, then there's just two egos occasionally bumping up against each other and feeling bad about the bump and trying to make each other feel better. Like, no, let's create something in language that is clear. So I agree to practice non-judgment, compassion, and appreciation in all my relationships. I agree, like I recommit to only speaking, listening, and acting from love to the best of my ability. Because acting from hurt hurts people, and healing people heal people. So, are you all committing to practicing this?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, cool. Now, the rest of these arguably are just a fleshing out or a blooming and a elaboration on those three agreements. Like those three agreements are the main ones. So don't get obsessed or feel overwhelmed with all these other ones. These are just ways that you could practice to love you and others. Um, so the first one is feel fully. I agree to feel my feelings, love what I feel, and take full responsibility for my emotions and experiences in every moment. Most people are walking around emotionally constipated. Like there are feelings they haven't felt and shit they haven't let go of that has piled up. And so they're just a reaction. So imagine I go to shake somebody's hand and I've got a bunch of splinters in my hand, a bunch of shit I haven't processed. I shake their hand and then it hurts. And I'm like, ow, you're an asshole, I might say. Well, they're
Hmm.
not an asshole. I just didn't take full responsibility for my emotions and my experience. So if I agree to feel my feelings, if somebody triggers me, I'll go internal and I'll love me first rather than lashing out at them. And it may still be that they keep engaging in dysfunctional behavior. Fine. If they're doing something that is like objectively hurtful and abusive, I'll be able to communicate from a clean, clear space if I've cleaned out myself first. And my communication will land better. It'll be heard easier, and the accountability that I'm holding them to won't be me inflicting a boundary. It'll be me inviting them into co-creating a boundary. Does that make sense to y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So my job as a coach, and this is in here because originally this was for my men's group, is to love the shit out of you. Or to support you in loving the shit out of yourself. So this all enables me to be more loving. If I notice there's something in me that contradicts love, then I deal with it. I handle it. I heal it. I release it. I let it go. I get facilitation for it. Or I vent to somebody on my A team, like not because they're responsible for healing me, but because co regulation is a thing. If I've got another person in the room and they're listening to me, that may help me to heal better. Like just because
Yeah.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
So, yeah, feel fully. Next one, see reality. In reality, you are whole, perfect, and complete. And I vote victory for you. So what that means is if you think or feel as if you're broken or there's something wrong with you or you're not good enough or you're not enough or whatever, I hear that as the hallucination that it is. It is a lie. It is a deception. It is a delusion. Not to be insulting to you, but rather to put the belief in its place. I'm going to have healthy boundaries with your beliefs that are not useful to you. My healthy
Hmm.
boundary is that I either don't hear them at all, I hear through the hallucination, or I hear them as they are, which is like poison. Like, no, you don't get to mess with my friend, belief that you're not enough. My friend is enough. That's who I hear you as. And so you can do this with you. This is what I've been teaching you all throughout the whole thing. Thank you for sharing. That's not who I am. Like, thank you for sharing. I hear you. And what we often do is we believe our thoughts. We believe all of our thoughts as if they're real. Like some of our
Hmm.
thoughts, they're just hallucinations. They're just insanity. They're not real. They're not true. But we forget to notice them as such and check them at the door and say, "All right, I'm sorry. As the bouncer in my own head, you don't get to join the party." which Roy could probably be a really great bouncer with those guns, man. All right. So I agree to see perfection, to see who I truly am. An extension or another side of that is to see me and you brand new. So I agree to see you brand new each and every day. Now, this is a grace. This is a gift. This is generosity. You do not have to give this to someone who is continuing to harm you over and over. But starting off, when humans who are clunky hit against each other and they sort of fuck up or they mess up, it's really helpful to be like, oh, you're not that one mistake you made where you messed up my you stepped over my boundary by accident because you didn't know it, or because you're overwhelmed, or beyond capacity or whatever. Like, okay, I choose to forgive you and see you as brand new. This especially helps with us. If I were, oh man, I've said this before, and it's true. If I saw myself only as all the mistakes and terrible shit I did before I woke up or before I was conscious and aware, like it just, my life would not work. I would not be here. I would not be alive. So me granting myself that grace, space, and gift and generosity of, I choose to see me brand new. Like, it's not to excuse who I was before. Like, if somebody came to me from my former life and said, "Hey, you were an asshole." And I was. Actually, this happened with one of my former partners. In Landmark, they give you a practice, which is anybody who you've lost affinity, like connection and friendliness with, who you value. You put them on a list, you reach out to them, you restore affinity, you apologize, you clean up the space. And I tried that with some ex-girlfriends. Guess what? They didn't want to hear it. They were just like, "No, you were a manipulative asshole." And I was so hurt. I was hurt again because I was like, oh, I'm now forced to see who I was. So that's useful. I recommend that. That's okay to do, so long as you dose it out in a way that doesn't fucking overwhelm you with who you were. And there may be ways to clean up or remediate for who you were in the past. And you don't have to do that. You could just choose to see yourself brand new. And if you're coming from love at the same time, then I would give you the stamp of approval and say, all right, you don't have to fix your past. You don't have to, there's nothing broken there. There's just who you choose to be now, and how you relate to the past. Because the past it's not here. You can't point to it. It doesn't exist anymore. It only
Mhm.
exists as memories and triggers and experiences we have in our imagination or in our body that we can choose to alchemize and love. So anyway, does this make sense to you all?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Um, Next one, I listen from commitment. I agree to be a committed listening. So I'm not listening just so I can react or respond to you. I'm listening so that I can um, be fully present to you. Have you ever been talking with somebody and you can tell they're not present?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks, huh? Right? Yeah. Yeah. So be the change you want to see. Be fully present when you're engaged with we. Be fully present when you're engaged with me too, like me, you. Sorry, that was a bunch of fun poetry. Um, if you hear yourself talk, be fully present with you. If you hear yourself mentally and internally, if you're fully present, you can catch what you don't choose to have in there. And in fact, if I catch myself saying something that I'm not aligned to, that doesn't feel resonant with my highest truth, I'll say cancel, clear, delete, delete. Or if I hear somebody else say something, because the subconscious is always listening. So, like in the Feel Free to Prosper work, Marilyn Janae talks about, which I'm thinking about dipping back into. She's got this great book, Feel Free to Prosper, 2 Weeks to Unexpected Income. And then she's got a course and a memoir that she also wrote. And she says, well, don't hang out with people who speak negatively of their finances if you want to manifest new money. Or tell them, hey, I'm not going to talk to you about finances. So, me listening to and tolerating other people's limiting beliefs around
Hmm.
finances can poison the well of my own, or it can drag me down. It can put rats in my head. It can steal my dream. So I'm careful with who and how I associate with people as well. Like my
Hmm.
dad, for example, I've trained him. I'm like, Dad, don't complain about finances, or else I just can't talk to you. I'm just not going to talk,
Yeah.
because my whole business depends on me keeping a good mindset around manifesting money. And that's why miracles and magic have happened around me so often in the past several years, because I'm pristine with keeping the integrity of the energy of that space. I listen from commitments and I listen to people who have the same commitments. And so those are sort of riffs on what I'm saying here. But if you can listen with full presence and love to whatever's going on in your mind and your body, it can heal, it can move, it can shift, it can release. And arguably, what part of what you did, Roy, a couple days ago that was so magical was like I'm there and you're giving me this massage and I'm like forced to be present with what has accumulated in my body. You're just kind of guiding my attention and also using, I mean, this isn't the only thing that was going on, but it was part of it. Was like, oh, now I have to feel that part of my body and just be with the sensations
Yeah.
until it releases. So thank you for that. Again, highly recommend. Ivan, you should totally go get a massage from this man. He's amazing. Um, and you don't have
Thank
to,
you.
but everybody could. Sorry. Next is another way of kind of saying the same thing. I agree to be fully and completely present in our communications together. So for me, it's an out of integrity if I'm not, oh, I might have scared him off. I'm just kidding. I think that's his Wi-Fi. Um, so if I'm fully and completely present, I can receive your communications. If I'm not, I miss the transmission and I have to ask again or whatever. And the gold, the joy, the peace, the love, the beauty of any relationship, any connection is in full presence. So I'm committed to listening fully and being fully present, and then I can recommit. I had a thing. Oh, he's back. I didn't scare him off. Um, I, I had a thing where with my former partner, we'd be in on a Zoom call together, like being coached in a group program. And I'd noticed that she was distracting me because she's beautiful and I love her and I'm flirting with her, whatever. And I would send her RFP, which means I recommit to being fully and completely present. And that was when I noticed that I would drift out of integrity. I would immediately recommit, and I wouldn't do a whole cleanup conversation because that would keep me from full presence. I mean, I might do that later, but yeah, recommit to being fully and completely present because that's where the gold is. These last four are pretty cool, but have these previous four been good?
Yep.
Do you see how if you were training people in how to treat you by inviting them into practicing these with you, your boundaries would be easier to hold?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So it's a way of doing boundaries, and we're gonna have that whole boundaries workshop. And Ivan, I'll send you details. Let me know if you're interested. I'm having a boundaries workshop. I can invite you to that too. Um, but all right, so there's these here. See the nine and the six. So image. There's this idea of sometimes I'll see a nine and you may see a six. Just because you're right doesn't mean I'm wrong, or vice versa. You just maybe haven't seen life from my position.
Yep.
So, there's an opportunity to see things as you see things without making you wrong for not having my perspective.
Hmm.
So I agree to acknowledge what you say to be true is true for you. And that this has been in the past. It used to be one of the hardest agreements for me because, like, as a facilitator, I've got a hot head full of a lot of steam. Like, oh, I know what's going on. It's your ego, or you're not coming from love, or you got trauma, or whatever. Like, okay, that may all be true, but unless and until I see your six, if I'm seeing a nine, it's difficult for you to hear my nine. If I hear your six fully, then you might be willing to hear my nine. You might not, but there's a stronger chance. So let me empathize first. Leaders listen first. Leaders listen fully first and listen deeply first to where the other person is coming from and hear it fully and receive it fully and honor it. And then I say my piece. What most people want to do is they want to say their piece first. Like, all right, I hear you. And here's where you're wrong. Like, no, 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 no. It's not going to work. Then it's just two TVs talking to each other. Imagine a TV is on and all you can do is hear it talk and then the other TV, right? So we're reacting to each other and nobody's coming from love anymore.
Yeah.
Which probably anybody had this with their family. Like they're triggered and so yeah. So this could help. not have that experience. Last three are kind of the same thing, seen from different angles. Own your shit and tell the truth. So I give my consent and permission to have my dysfunction confronted with the opportunity for a new choice and new creative structure. This is a sort of advanced level agreement. If you put this in the hands of your partner and they are not coming from love or they're coming from judgment, their reactions may be characterized um, as confrontation of dysfunction because love confronts dysfunction, fear comforts in dysfunction. So if somebody's
Yeah.
continually breaking my boundary, it is loving to me and to them actually for me to say, this doesn't work for me. This is dysfunctional. But if I am doing so from a reaction, from fear, or from not being loving, then they're going to experience it as like what it is, which is my ego trying to defend itself and trying to push them around potentially. They're not going to like that, which is arguably what I did with my little quantum of sadness, disappointment, and hurt yesterday that was in my communication where I was saying, hey, I'm sorry. I see you aren't honoring your word. And, you know, what do I do about you not honoring your word? Well, we're going to review you how to honor your word. Like they couldn't hear me. So I give my consent and permission to have my dysfunction confronted. The idea here is not that it's your job to go walking around policing people. You're not here to boss people around or to confront dysfunction. You're here to give people an opportunity for a new choice and a new structure, like an agreement potentially, where there
Yeah.
hasn't been one, so that they can honor you and themselves even better. And I always use the example of the bicycle kickstand. Somebody is basically, imagine they're riding a bike up a hill and there's like a sidewalk and their kickstand is down and so it's like throwing sparks like it's a drag on their bike and there's sparks behind them but they don't see it because they're like pushing forward and I ask people, well, would you like to know if your bicycle kickstand is down and it's preventing you from going as fast as far and as easy as you would like and they generally say yes, I would like to know. So let's get the bicycle kickstand up. I'm not confronting you as dysfunctional. I'm confronting the behavior or the attitude or the expression or the communication. That didn't work. So again, advanced level ninja skills. And I'd also say done lovingly with consent and permission, which is why I ask for permission to facilitate people, heal them, whatever, help them, or support them with healing. Last ones, I agree to be 100% responsible for my results in health, wealth, happiness, relationships, spiritual connection, etc. I'm going to go ahead and say everywhere in my life. And at some point, I'm going to spell everywhere right. At some point.
This
There we
is
go.
one of your dysfunction.
What's that? Oh, this is ha 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 ha. Thanks. He's been looking for an opportunity. Yeah, yeah. That's great. That's cute. That's fun. So yeah,
With your consent, lovingly just saying,
yes, 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 yes. I receive your love. Thank you. So yeah, and that was a joke, right? This is the first time I don't think I spell this wrong everywhere. That's the joke.
yeah,
Somewhere I'm going to spell it right. It's funny. Um, and I simplified it for ease of use. I'm responsible for my results. Codependence I define as believing that you're the bitch of the external world or someone in it, thinking that your happiness depends on them doing X, Y, or Z. And it's okay to have boundaries, and it's okay to have them honoring them, those boundaries, so long as it doesn't have you. And like it has you if you can't be okay without it. Now, this is separate from they consistently, reliably don't honor the boundaries, and I've invited them to honor the boundaries, and they're just being a jerk. Like it's okay to honor that other people might be assholes in how they're behaving, not intrinsically at the level of soul or whatever, but in how they're behaving. So I agree to be 100% responsible for my results in life. I agree to recommit or course correct as needed. So to reset and try again if I've failed at any of the above. And yeah, there's always something I can do to remold my environment or my life nearer to my heart's desire. And that's me being fully responsible, which I acknowledge you all for doing. You showed up to a thing. You could have been anywhere doing anything. I was committed to this be fun and valuable. Was it? Let me know.
yeah, yes.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to do a quick closing circle. We're going to end a little early because this feels like a natural stopping point. Um, What'd you get from today that was most valuable that you got a handle on? And feel free to like popcorn style, put in the chat, come off a mute, whatever works for you.
I mean, I know some of these stuff already, or I worked it myself, but like it just like the way it was structured, and like it's a really good reminder to, and I definitely need to see and experience like healthy boundaries in my life, because probably that's what I'm missing.
Hmm.
That I surround myself with people who have no healthy boundaries, and then starting like from very young age. So as you said, like I need to stick around like more like the A team and have somebody that tells me that, hey, you're doing it again, you're cool, like
Yeah.
you're just spiraling, just uh yeah, because I've been told many times that like, oh, you're just way too nice, you gotta stop doing that. But like I never really learned like how not to be that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the list, I'll print it out immediately and point by point, like I just wanna remind myself that like when I start spiraling, that like nope, nope, remind yourself this and that. So like that was actually like the list of things is really helpful to just have it like as a list, not necessarily just
I'm so glad. That's
knowing
awesome.
them separately.
Yeah. That's great. Please do. Hang it up.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's cool. Um, awesome. Well, thank you for being here, man. Thank you for
thank
drawing
you.
from me that. Ivan, what would you get? What are you leaving?
Um, I guess maybe it helped knowing that there's no wrong way to say it. Just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I guess I needed to hear that because
Yeah.
I just obsess so much over not doing it, or not saying what I mean to say, or I don't know. It's,
Yeah. Yeah. Respect. Very simple. Very clear.
yeah,
I mean, the one rule that I've learned too, that as long as you're coming from a loving space and you're not necessarily attacking anybody, you cannot really say anything wrong. So
yeah,
if you're trying to clear the air with somebody, and I've made a huge progress on that too, then having like a one-on-one conversation like with somebody and using like I statements rather than just accusing them that, oh, you are this and you are that. So like if you're explaining it from your situation, then like how it makes you feel or to improve the situation, then you cannot really say the wrong thing. But like if people takes it like, oh, why are you so sensitive? Why are you so this? Then you just know then um, you can stick to your boundary and then like just step away from the connection. So probably like that helps with like removing like this thinking of, oh, what if I say the wrong thing?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
again, as long as you're coming from a loving space and you're trying to improve whatever relationship that is, then you cannot really say the wrong thing.
yeah. That's actually really good advice. I think the 9 and the 6 thing helped a lot,
Yeah.
like visualizing it.
Uh-huh.
So that's actually really helpful. So thank you,
Beautiful.
both of you.
Uh, you're you're so welcome. Thank you, Roy. That's great adding in. Who would like more of this or more like this? Yeah, okay. Ivan, any chance you want some more? Oh, he's
I
raising his
don't know
hand.
if I'm raising my hand, but I don't know if you can see me.
Oh, I can see you. Yeah, I mean the hand. So yeah, there's a boundaries workshop. I'm about to start promoting it. It's near the end of the month on the 22nd. Roy's already coming. I'll send the invite as a text. And Roy, if you'd like to share it with some of your people who are not honoring boundaries, I can give you affiliate commissions if you want to sign up, if they sign up or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, this turned out to be really good. I love doing these. I love teaching in this way. This is my dharma. This is the closest I've come to finding something that I do for free forever without attachment or expectation. And I'm currently in the process of transitioning from basically full-time business coaching to full-time relationship coaching because I love it so much. And yeah, if
Hmm.
you know anybody, feel free to tell them that if you know anybody who could benefit from this, feel free to send them my way, and I'm happy to give them a session like this. And
Okay.
the last thing, well, yeah, if he's gone, then I don't think we'll have consent for it. But I was going to ask, let's just end the recording. So this was Awaken, Relentless Love and Partnerships. Thank you for being here.